The United States is the only developed country in the world that doesn't offer some form of mandated paid paternal leave for its full time employees. Statistics show that flourishing economies or thriving economies actually function best when time is given to new fathers. And the United States should implement some form of paid mandated paternal leave for its full time employees, not only to promote gender equality within its citizenship, but also to support a growing economy as well. My speech will cover a brief history of paternal leave within the United States, as well as comparing some of the benefits the U.S. currently offers to neighboring countries, not only here in the Western Hemisphere, but also to countries in the Eastern Hemisphere as well, who have had parental leave mandated by their federal governments for decades. Finally, we'll compare how some of the best companies here in the United States flourish by offering paternal leave for its employees, and how if those companies can succeed, so can the United States economy as well if paid paternal leave was also implemented. So first, the first real situation of paternal leave was brought about by a man named Gary Ackerman, who was a high school teacher in New York City. His firstborn child came into this world, and he requested a leave of absence so that he could be with her, and was denied this privilege, and later filed a class action lawsuit for gender equality. Now, most of us are pretty familiar that women who give birth are permitted up to 12 weeks to be with the newborn child to help take care of them and be with them. And Gary wanted to also be provided this same privilege as well. After this lawsuit was granted unto him, he left his career as a teacher to pursue further political press for gender equality. In 1993, the Family Leave Act was signed by Bill Clinton, which was paved mostly in part by Gary Ackerman, which we now are familiar with. Not only do women, but also men are granted the privilege to receive 12 weeks of unpaid leave mandated by the federal government. Though this is a great progression towards paternal leave and family leave in general, there have been countries that have had not only unpaid leave, but paid paternal leave for decades. This is just a small graph showing several of the countries that offer full pay parental leave for their employees. And some countries pushing 40 plus weeks of paid parental leave for their full-time employees, such as Norway, Sweden, and Germany. Even Canada, just a northern neighboring country, has 28 weeks paid parental leave for their employees. The United States is second to the top with 24 weeks of unpaid parental leave. That's 12 weeks for the father and 12 weeks for the mother of unpaid leave. Now, the reason why a lot of these countries have had these parental reforms implemented is due in part by successful businesses within those countries. Self-made billionaire Richard Branson, who owns the Virgin Empire, was asked about why he would implement such great benefits for their new fathers, and he was quoted saying, "If you take care of your employees, they will take care of your business." And many of the U.S. companies, seeing the great success that Richard Branson has had in his European empire, have implemented businesses, or have also implemented benefits for their employees and full-time fathers as well. We know that the reason why the U.S. economy is so good is due in part by the massive companies and corporations who are so successful and providing great jobs for their employees. This is a short graph showing several of the most successful companies in the United States offering paid leave for its employees of new dads. Companies such as Facebook, Instagram, and Google offer up to 17 paid weeks of leave for their new fathers. And that's not just for fathers, but also parents who adopt and surrogate births as well. Companies such as Microsoft and Apple not only give paid leave to their full-time employees, but they also help provide freezing technologies for fertilized eggs as well for future children. We know that the reason why the U.S. economy is so good is due in part by these major successful businesses. And if these businesses are able to implement such policies and benefits to help their employees receive pay without working, it's to ensure that the rising generation will be brought up in such a way that they will be better than the current generation. So the U.S. should implement some form of reform or policy that includes a mandated paid paternal leave as well as maternal leave for full-time employees to help its economy not only thrive but also promote gender equality as well.